sharing our strategic initiatives. Let's call each practice head to the stage to share their vision for 2025. First up, we have Parth from Process Data Science team.
Okay, good morning. So, first of all, I just wanted to check who all belongs to PDS team. Okay. Anyone who is reporting into me? No one? Oh. So, like Praveen talked about the changes in the overall team structure. I will emphasize on that. But what I'm going to present is the journey we had over last year from AI to Gen AI. Now, I'll start with our experience, we, our customers. We're still just getting used to adopt or learn to use AI. And, there was another beast called generative AI. So, I just need few volunteers because we have mix of audience. What do you understand by generative AI? Have you used that in any of your experience? Anyone? Not from PDS.
We use ChatGPT as the example of generative AI.
Sorry, who is it?
I was saying we are using ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
That's the example of Gen AI.
Okay. Anyone else?
The methods through which we can generate the new text or ideas, so it is kind of example of Gen AI.
Okay. Anyone from DMO team? Anyone? No? No one is using ChatGPT. That's changed. I'm sure everyone is using it. Okay, no problems. So, I'll focus more on how the journey for our group within Tridiagonal.ai had been in this last year. The good thing was, as we started our journey for this year, we already had a few of the big breakthroughs like Deepak Fertilizer, one of the long pending account in our trade. As usual, we were able to get the renewal from many accounts, but one of the key was Pfizer. And obviously, along with a lot of our partner ecosystems and solution providers like Seek, Litmus, AWS, but the heavy focus was always on the IoT side, using we are one of the first implementation provider in India that did end-to-end implementation of using AWS IoT for one of the distillery businesses. But that was more on consulting and services business, right? That's pretty usual thing that we were always doing as per the genesis and the background of the company. But we knew we were already using generative AI to some extent. Reliance was one of our customers for whom we had developed few of the chatbots. One of our advisors, where users, operations team can come together, ask questions, interrogate, and get the responses. But that was just like at some capacity we were using that. But we all knew something new was coming. Generative AI, the first thing comes to our mind is unstructured data. Before then, most of our focus was only on IT, OT, right? But there was so much of data which was always missed, which for sure, there were so many other companies across the globe which were focusing on IT, OT, and AT, which is about engineering data, and it's huge, right? It's not even structured, it's even siloed, you never know where exactly it's located, and it's keep updating without anyone even paying attention to it. And that made us pretty natural to align with companies like Cognite, and within a month, we had more than, I think, 15 or 20 certifications, advanced certification in Cognite, and that's how we work. But, that's where we started leveraging the power of IT, OT, and PT, right? So you open up your PNIDs, where do you want to navigate? Maybe time series data associated with that specific asset in that PNID. You just click and you're there, right? That's the potential of Power. But again, that was not enough. And this year we have realized innovation was keeping itself at a higher pace than time itself. And that's where in quarter two we had so many things: usual consulting, partner ecosystems, generative AI, learning ourselves into Cognites and some of the similar players. But when we hit quarter two, generative AI presented itself in a new form, which is called as Agentic AI. I'm not sure how many of you have heard of it, but generative AI earlier was pretty much like a chatbot. But if you break, the actions of a human down to some steps, that's what Agentic AI is about. So Agentic AI is more like human-like action. So what do you do in a day? What data you analyze and actions and decisions? Can we, mimic your actions, your decisions, and build it in an agent? Everyone would have heard of prompt engineering. You ask ChatGPT, can you curate that as per the industrial requirements, right? And that's where we realize it's not just new, but it's a new era, new evolution itself of the technology. And obviously, whenever there is a new evolution, it demands for more innovation as well. But this literally, again helped us to naturally align with AWS, not just using the infrastructure and the services of AWS, but also using the technology. First time, in our entire history, we thought alignment with AWS is very natural and it's very important, because generative AI models, these are like large language models which you cannot host in your servers, physical servers residing in office. You have to have cloud computing. So that's where we started focusing a lot on Agentic AI. Somehow we aligned with AWS, and then entire global team aligned with us just because of our domain experience. Domain had always been the key for us, and that's where we do it. And we were given a challenge from Amazon global team. In fact, they selected 3 partners. We were one of them. We were barely meeting the criteria of being the partner of Amazon Web Services globally, but still they selected just because of our background. And they gave us a challenge of entire maintenance that happens to be in a plant, not just one equipment, the entire process, workflow. So when the equipment goes down, you take some observation, then you create notification and so on and so forth. They gave just one-pager document and asked us to create a product out of it. If you are able to do that, we have one of the large customers behind the scenes. We'll just introduce them to you and then you take it ahead. So that's how it started. We were never a product company. Both the Pravins had always told that, right? But here we really started thinking of frameworks, not like products, but something you can repeat and scale, right? So they called it as Lookout for Operations. We focused on it. We had a team of Gen almost 3 to 4 engineers by then. And full stack engineer, front engineers. We really started putting all of our heads together. And within, I think, 2.5 months, we were able to develop this prototype. We did a lot of showcasing, but we were also ourselves not very convinced about what this solution can bring value for the customers on the table. Literally, we had multiple conversations, we and PK, that we are doing something, but it's like RPA. Because we were also not very sure what is the difference between Gen AI and Agentic AI. Is agent just replicating human actions? How is it valuable to the customer? That was a big question mark on our side. Eventually, with the strong partner ecosystem, we made a few modifications on the product. We renamed it as Opsage, and eventually we landed up with a few of the customers which you see here. This time, Amazon Web Services themselves were our customers, along with one of the largest customers in the world and one of the largest paper and file customers. Right, this was for the first time in the world, Agent Ops was being deployed and implemented for one of the sites. Right, first time in the world, because When I say agent ops, we're not just talking about documents. That's just maybe part of the entire data ecosystem. Now we are talking about documents. Within documents, you have so many different types. Then you have time series, you have SAP, and so on and so on. But this quarter was the period where we started realizing what value it can bring, because now we are discussing directly with the customer, and the value was really to kind of mimic what their experienced maintenance engineers and planners would do at the site. And their intention was, since they are leaving the organization, like retiring the organization, for new maintenance engineers, how can we have a system, a centralized system, users can just ask question and they get an entire know-how and the workflow about what it can do. And within a period of a month, we delivered something which helped them to increase their business KPIs or value by almost 2x, at least 2x, right? And within a month, we were able to do it for entire section, bulking section. But that's something that really changed the way we looked at our offerings. And that's where most of us, who belongs to BDS, you would have witnessed this, that everything that we are doing, like AI, analytics, now we are trying to reframe everything that we offer using agentic approach. And there are a lot of challenges which I am talking about, but this is how the quarter third was for us. Very fascinating, very amazing, but this really demanded for a lot of innovation. Is maintenance the only opportunity? That was the question for us, right? Sorry. Or can we have multiple such areas where a group of people are involved working together, and we can have an agent that mimic in a very similar fashion the way people used to do at the site. So this quarter was all about conceptualization, prototyping very quickly, because customers doesn't wait for a year, just waiting for new solutions to come out, and it's highly competitive. And once you prototype, launch and market, and that's where we regrouped the entire team together. We really had so much of products. You can see C, Litmus, AWS, Cognight, GenAI itself is an animal in the room. So we started thinking about some small applications or prototypes that we can build. Let's test it out in the market. That's where me and Vicky were out for almost for a month. Just wanted to see how market responds to what we have built. And given that, that will give us a direction of where do we really want to go. Is this even the right direction that we want to focus on for next year? So we had 3 to 4 different applications that we used on top of Amazon Web Services and some Agentic AI frameworks like Plant GPT, very attractive. Right? People we ourselves are setting very high expectation when we say Plant. Ask anything about anything, and then you will be having a response. Next was heat exchanger agent, then AI lifecycle management using generative AI. For Cognight, we had a team which worked on entire emissions management and blast furnace productivity operations improvement. And using Litmus, we identified 2 different applications. And the whole focus was, since we were also going to be present in the market, like Animal Message, this was our first time entry, we had our own booth, and it was very successful. Literally, we had Databricks, Siemens, whatnot, Litmus, but the maximum, crowd attention was being, realized in our booth. And that really gave us a lot of confidence that whatever we had done as a group is really valuable, and this is something that we have to focus on heavily for next entire year. But with this, we had a lot of learnings. So, new wave of technology, it's realized we are not just seeing that, we are feeling that, we are witnessing that, and we are driving that. So, the best thing was, if you are on LinkedIn, you would have seen a lot of posts. Everyone is talking about Agentic AI only for documents. But now we are focusing on the entire industrial data. Earlier it was data ops, but on top of data you need solution. And that's why we call it as agent ops, which can even look into all different types of data and then do the justice for whatever is the value required. But then this is not an easy task, right? Customers' expectation were high, because what are you doing? You have an agent. will do everything for you. ML model banana hai, have an agent. Whatever you want to do, you have an agent. So expectations were very high, right? 2x, I have just kept it very conservative. There are customers who are even expecting it in 5x days. If earlier we would have taken 5 months, can you do it in 1 month or 1 week? You already have agent created for that customer. Can you just not, plug and play that with my data? So it had been a wild journey, and it's gonna be even the next coming, couple of months or quarters. But that's what even makes it interesting. And with this, we also realized it's not just about agent that will be used as a chatbot or whatever workflow you want to optimize. It also requires better data contextualization. If your data is all garbage, you do not even have access to data, agents will hallucinate. Like model underperform, your agents will hallucinate. Because these are language models. It can think on its own, it will generate answers on its own. Right? Who will do that validation? Rapid innovation and prototyping. For us, innovation was not on the technology side. That's already happening at much higher pace than the time itself. But for us, domain side innovation was required. How do we bring this relevance to our industry? And how our customers will really like what we are trying to present to them? Will they even realize the value? Maybe they will have 10 agents, but is it meeting their expectation? How do they quantify? If it's just a chatbot, there is no quantification of the value. So, these were the questions, and that's why we regrouped again, restructured our teams. But rapid innovation from the domain side, which is what domain-driven technology is about, becomes very important. And with this, we landed up with almost 10 strategic agents, behind which we have more than 50 agents running. But this is what we want to do for at least next 1 or 2 quarters. We'll build this, and we want to scale and deploy for the customers. And all of this would have never been possible without combination of domain and skill sets. Like when I say domain, not just EDS or executive, but even OTS. There are few of the projects or engagements that we are having internally where even OTS know-how is becoming very prominent. Without that know-how, we would have not been able to get to this, right? So under the hood, under this room, we have so much of mix of skill set which is so rich, which is so hard to find anywhere. Maybe it's not even available anywhere, right? I'm not sure, but it's so sparse. But I just want to, take pause here and just have an applause for everyone. So with that, going ahead this year, we really want to focus or strengthen our focus and go deep inside data ops, because that itself is a new concept. There had been technologies almost for many years, but they had very traditional and conventional way of non-domain aware data contextualization. But that is what we excel at right now. We tend to collaborate with them and come out with some innovative solution. But this is one of the focus where we have so many products like Cognight, Neo4j, Litmus. We are also focusing a lot on agent ops, which I mentioned about. Right now we have partnered with Amazon Web Services. Cognight has something called Atlas AI, which is very important. And then hybrid AI, physics or domain or first principles, which could be presented in different shapes and forms. It could be simulation, you write down your own equation, whatever. But how can that add value to your existing AI models? Right? Then products and application, which I talked about, but each area we want to focus on, not just maintenance, but what can we do in quality, what can we do in process side, what can we do in energy and emissions. Same thing for knowledge retention. Everyone is, the way technology is crazy now, even that has attracted so much of talent. So even people working in manufacturing are now moving from core engineering to IT business, and that has created a lot of challenge for our customers, and that's when knowledge management becomes very important. And then data contextualization, like almost everyone in our group had been working or focusing a lot on dynamic data. But there is so much of static data somewhere residing, which is so useful. but we hardly focus on that. And that's a big change, big game change that we want to create and influence and impact the entire market. And with that, I have some success stories. I just prepared those. I just call whoever was part of that project or program, and they can just speak about it maybe 1 or 2 minutes. So the first one is, remember I talked about Cognite. We had the first customer which was Nova Chemicals. More than I will talk about, like Anish, is it you? Yeah. Okay, great. Can you come here? Just talk about that. So I let the team members talk for themselves what they had done.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. So Nova chemical journey was started with Parth. So I was just shadowing the Parth into the meetings. So everyone was asking like why you are logging from 2 accounts, okay? So I was shadow and Parth was just only talking. And then we decided to replace the Parth, and it was like the decision like we need to have the 3 types of skill set, that is chemical, data engineering and data science. Initially Parth was part of data science, so that was not issue for him. And then I replaced Parth in span of around 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And this particular Cognite based Nova Chemical is like they have the Azure based platform already available, and they just decided to move on the data digital transformation, and they decided to break the silos which are available into Azure, and they implemented the Cognite. And the implementation of Cognite not just from any data science perspective, but they wanted to get the visibility on the plant maintenance. So they have around 13 sites spread across the Canada, and they brought the data from all 13 sites into Azure, and then we started the data engineering on that, and we developed the Cognite. So there are total 10 teams and more than 250 engineers are working from multiple companies. Like we have Infosys, we have TCS, we have Hexagon, we have Novachem. So 10 teams are parallelly working to make this project successful. So me and Parth was part of data platform team. So their main job is to bring connect with the sources through by using the data engineering and extract the data and load into the Cognite and enable all the value driven whatever innovations are going on in Cognite, like Agentic AI or work order maintenance, then smart plant maintenance. So that kind of use cases they are building on it. And we are targeting to finish this project by end of this year. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so I'll just request the members that you see here for the other projects, and they can talk about the project. So Kane, Vedanta, which everyone is aware about. Again, platform was Cognite, but the focus was more on developing some complex use cases. And Georgia Pacific is what I talked about, Agentic AI and Ultratech, which is a pilot which we did just in a matter of less than a week, right? But pretty successful. Dada, Baru, Nagari, Nikhil, maybe at least one representative from each of the projects if you want to come over here and just talk about it. Are you even here? Dada? Come now. No? Just for a minute, you can come. Come on, Dada. Come on. Yes. Baru? Mayuri and Sumit? Yeah, there you go. Nikhil, Sai Kiran, I'm not sure. Sai Kiran is here or not? No. As usual. And Amit?
Hello everyone. For Kane, we have delivered mechanical cell failure prediction project, where we the failure of the mechanical seal in advance, and that is the huge achievement for us because at the time of validation call is going on, while validating, everyone from the gain side is there, and at the moment they find out that in a dashboard failure is showcasing, and they at that time validated, and it is actually failure at that time. So that's a huge, the accuracy of the model which we have achieved. For Georgia Pacific, we have built application where they can just enter the deviation or any problem happen in the plant, and at that moment within the 5 to 10 minutes their job plan is getting done.
So for Ultratech, we did present a proof of concept on how to do the root cause analysis in industrial setup using various data integrated into Cognite, and then using Agentic AI to derive the insights to guide the root cause analysis. And in this, while developing this solution, the Cognite team was lacking the domain expertise. Then the Ultratech team was having the domain expertise, but they were not having the technology expertise, where our team came in and we had that domain expertise as well as technology know-how. So based on that, we developed one solution within span of 1 week, and we were able to successfully demonstrate this.
Okay, thank you. So, most of these projects that you see here were handled single-handedly, like by these unicorns. But these were few of the interesting projects that we delivered this year, very appreciated by the customers. Within a span of a month, customers were also able to realize the value. And that's the biggest thing, or one of the best thing, that happened to us last year. And we want to continue, with the same motivation, same innovation, and with same enthusiasm going forward. So that's my last slide. I just asked to restrict to 3 slides, but still we exceeded time. But yeah, thank you everyone for